Welcome to Open House Kindergarten Families. I'm Miss Bittaker, and I'm going to go over the first part of the presentation with you, which is the kindergarten schedule. So arrival, students can come on campus at 8:50. They proceed to the classroom, they say hello, they put their backpacks up, they take out their take-home folders, and they have a seat at their desk to do morning work. Then at 9:05, we have our morning meeting at the carpet, and we take attendance. We go over the calendar, the daily schedule, and listen to the school announcements. Then we do reading workshop, which is shared reading, letter recognition. We work on sounds. We work on partner reading, independent reading. We have guided reading in small groups. So this is where we're working on sounds or letters with your child in small groups or working on decoding. The end goal is for all kids to become independent readers. We also do poetry and word work. Library is once a week, and students can check out one book. The book just needs to be returned before we go back to the library so they can get a new book. Lunch is at 11 o'clock, and students can bring a lunch from home with a drink, or they can get a cafeteria lunch, which is free. Students are washing hands before they eat, after bathroom, and from coming back inside from playing. We also let students use the bathroom throughout the day and get water. Recess is at 11:35. There are 4 zones, so each class is at one of the zones. We've got the playground, blacktop, field, or track, and we rotate throughout the week. Read aloud and phonics is at 11:50. Writer's workshop is 12:10 to 12:50. The expectation for writing at the end of kinder is for students to be able to write a complete sentence with a capital letter at the beginning, finger spacing, and punctuation at the end. We also promote brave spelling in kindergarten, which is where students are just writing down the sounds they hear in words. And it's okay if things are not spelled correctly at this time. Learning centers are at 12:50. This is free choice time. This is where students can go to different centers like Blocks, Puppets, Kitchen, Art Center. They socialize here, learn to share, and clean up. Snack is from 1:15 to 1:25. We like it quiet. We put on a story. They eat in the classroom, so bring a snack daily. We do not provide one. And of course, try and make it healthy. Math is from 1:30 to 2:20. We do a lot of counting activities, songs with math, lots of manipulatives, and we'll teach them math games. And we have a math workshop, which is where we put students in small groups to work on specific skills that they need or to challenge them. Recess again, then we pack up, then they go to specials. We have art and music once a week and PE 3 times a week, dismissals at 4. Send a note with your child if they're going home a different way, or let the office know. We don't always check our emails throughout the day. So thank you very much.
Hi, kindergarten families. This is Miss Kirby, and I will be leading you through the next portion of our open house presentation. Here at Reef, we follow the Leader in Me program, where we teach our students the 7 Habits of Happy Kids by Sean Covey. The Leader in Me is a process designed to help teachers develop leadership skills in their students. It helps students discover their unique strengths. It gives all students an opportunity to shine, to become leaders, and it helps infuse the language of the 7 habits into all of our curriculum. Here is our wonderful 7 habits tree. Our character education for Belle Reeve students really is all about the 7 habits. We teach students to take responsibility for their behaviors and choices. All students have special strengths to share, and we instill in them that everyone can be a leader. In kindergarten, we teach one habit each month. So starting in September, we will teach our students habit one, be proactive. They'll learn that they are in charge of themselves, their choices, their mood, all of that good stuff. Their 7 habits is taught all throughout the building, so it is common language throughout all the classrooms here at Belle Reve. And we just love the 7 habits. Every student at Belle Reve also has their very own leadership notebook. This notebook is a great communication tool between home and school. Students are able to self-monitor and set their own goals. It gives them ownership over their learning, and it helps form a good routine and habit for organization. In this leadership notebook, there's going to be different sections. The wildly important goals that we call WIGs. There's a victory sections when they reach a goal. They get to celebrate, they get a victory to put in there. Data tracking to keep track of what they're learning and what they need to keep learning, and leadership roles. Here is an example of one of our data tracking sheets in kindergarten. So we'll begin with capital letters, lowercase letters, and sounds. And there are 2 purposes to these data tracking sheets. One is to celebrate their success and all of the things that they know. They will highlight the letters that they know, that they can identify, and the ones that they don't, they then know that those are the ones that they need to practice at school and at home so that they can eventually highlight that when they get assessed again by their teacher. These leadership notebooks, they come home, once or twice through the quarter, and we ask you just to kind of take a look through it, take pictures of the sheets if you need to, so you know what letters, sounds, things to work on at home, and then send it back the next day with everything inside. Eventually, we will then be going on to our reading WIG. So in November, December, we'll begin to assess students on their reading level. By the end of kindergarten, the expectation is to be reading at a level D book. Again, with reading and writing and everything in kindergarten, we will meet your child where they are and move them forward. So no matter where they start reading at in kindergarten, we will meet them there and we will continue to move them forward. So this is just a little reading WIG that you will see in their leadership notebook once we begin our guided reading groups. Once those groups start, your child will be bringing home a little take-home book that they are expected to read that night, and then you just send it back the next day in their backpack. Here is an example of some of those leveled texts. So a level A is a very simple sentence, lots of picture support, not a whole lot of words. As you can see, I am cutting. There's sight words that they'll know, but then really that picture support helps them kind of figure out that one hard word, cutting. By the end of the year, we want them at a level D, which as you can see, there are multiple sentences on a page. Not a whole lot of picture support. They can still kind of figure out some things, but they're going to need to know more sight words and use those reading strategies that they will learn in kindergarten.
Hi, kindergarten families. It's Mrs. Burden, and I'm going to talk to you about kindergarten behaviors, behavior expectations, and what happens when there are expected or unexpected behaviors. So on your screen here, you can see our kindergarten mission, which is something that we say every morning with the students during our community circle time. These are the big rules for kindergarten. Hopefully, you start to hear some of this language coming home to you in the evenings as well. We often tell the students that if they follow these 5 rules and our kindergarten mission, then they'll have a great day. When we catch students doing the right thing, we can give them a leader sticker, compliments. If other teachers catch them doing the right thing, they might give us an all-school award and our class will be heard over the announcements. We might also get a jump on our little game board, which leads us to a class reward if we get down to the finish line at the very bottom. So we try to get the whole class working together to do the right thing so that we can earn lots of compliments and rewards and eventually have a little celebration because we've made such good choices. On the other hand, if things are not going the right way and we have some unexpected behaviors, we kind of follow a 3-strike policy. The first time we have to tell someone that they're not doing the right thing, it's considered a friendly reminder. The second time we have to tell them, we consider that a warning that they're not doing the right thing. And the third time, they might be asked to go sit at their table and then they will lose 5 minutes of playtime. We refer a lot to the idea of not interrupting learning for themselves or their friends. So if there's a behavior that is interrupting our learning, that is when we start giving them these reminders and warnings, and they might end up losing playtime. If the behavior becomes a consistent problem, you will be notified for sure with a phone call or a note home that needs to be signed. We sometimes have problems in the kindergarten bathrooms, even though we're trying to limit the number of friends that are using the bathroom at this time. The bathrooms can sometimes be a tempting place to play since there's not direct supervision, but we work really hard on doing the right thing and making good choices no matter where we are. So, again, I can promise you that if it becomes a big problem, we will notify you so that you are aware of what's happening. And finally, we have the calming corner. This is an area in every classroom across Belle Reeve that helps friends to maybe get themselves back in control if they are having a hard time. This will be introduced to our kindergarten students soon in the coming weeks, and we will talk about strategies for how to get yourself back together so that you can rejoin the group if you need to.
Hi, Belle Reeve families. This is Mrs. Eamon, and I'll be taking over the last part of our presentation. We wanted to share with you the Belle Reeve Family Digital Hub. This will be on Belle Reeve's website and would be a great thing to bookmark on your computer. It just has all different kinds of schedules, like our ABCD schedule, lunch schedule, district calendar that you might need throughout the year. All kindergarten teachers will be utilizing the Seesaw app this year. It's a great way for our students to work independently on their Chromebooks during our reading stations, which will come later in the school year, and there'll be more information on Seesaw coming soon. So here's where we get to all of our miscellaneous information. Every day, your child's going to be bringing home a daily folder. Please go over the items in this folder with your child and empty all the papers and send it back the next day. Poetry folders will go home every Friday or the last day of the week. Each week we'll get a new poem added to the folder. It will always be the last one. And we ask that you read the new poem with your child over the weekend. And you can always go back and read old poems. This is a great way for your child to just practice his or her beginning reading skills. Each year, Belle Reeve has leadership t-shirts that go with our theme, and they correspond with our grade level colors. Kindergarten is purple. You should have received a red order form that told a little bit more about this year's t-shirts. And this year, rather than sending in the paper order form, it's all online. In a week or so, we will be sending home what's called an All About Me page with your child. It'll be a large piece of construction paper, and there'll be a letter with directions that go along with it. Throughout the year, we will use this All About Me page, and it's just a way for your child to share about himself or herself with the class, and we can learn a little bit more about each other. We'll only have one set of conferences this year, and they will be held in mid-November. Mrs. DeBosch will send out a Sign Up Genius link where you can schedule conferences, and they will be held all throughout the week. If you cannot attend on conference night, we will make conference times throughout the week, each individual teacher, and we'll work to meet with you. Every month in kindergarten, we have what's called monthly choice homework. We'll send home, it's usually like a bingo board with a lot of different options that your child can do to work on his or her kindergarten skills. So you'll see this coming home for the first time in September. Each kindergarten teacher also does a Scholastic book order. We usually do these every month or so. A paper order form will go home, but also it's a lot easier to order online. And through the Scholastic book order, you can order appropriate books for your child's interest or reading level. And if you order books through Scholastic, then your child's teacher will get points for her library to get more books for the classroom. Each week in kindergarten, we'll send home a weekly newsletter. This will typically be sent home Friday or over the weekend, and it'll just give you a little peek at the week coming up, what we're doing in our curriculum, and any important reminders. In the past, in kindergarten, we used to take 2 field trips, but because of COVID restrictions, we will not be taking a field trip in the first semester of the school year. We are unsure yet whether or not we will be getting to do a field trip in the second half of the school year, but we're keeping our fingers crossed that that's still a possibility. Going along with COVID restrictions, we used to have parent volunteers come in and help quite a bit, but they are not allowing guests in the building currently. We're hoping that as some of these restrictions get to ease, that parent volunteers will be something that we can have back in the building, and we'll let you know whenever that is the case. And finally, all students in Parkway right now are asked to be wearing masks just to prevent the spread of germs and to prevent the spread of COVID. So please make sure that your child has a mask each day, and also it's important to have an extra mask in your child's backpack. The kids have been getting sweaty at recess, or sometimes there's big sneezes or spills and something happens and your child needs that extra mask. So if you wouldn't mind, put an extra mask in a Ziploc and stick it in a pocket in your child's backpack where they know where it's at. That way they can have an extra mask throughout the day if they need it. Here's our contact information for each of the kindergarten teachers, and we'll share this out with you again at the Q&A session. And speaking of the Q&A session, if you have any questions after watching this presentation or would just like to see your child's teacher's face, you can join us tomorrow evening from either 6:30 to 7 p.m. or 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. We will be offering 2 different sessions of question and answer. If you have a question you would like to submit ahead of time, please fill it out on the Google form that was sent to you with this presentation. We thank you for watching and listening, and I'm sure we'll see some of you tomorrow evening. Thank you.